Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League. Today, we're at Canadian Tire Motorsports, where we get ready for another spectacular round. Thank you to our fans, friends, and family tuning in and supporting the broadcast, as well as our sponsor for tonight, Founds Vineyard, coming on board, supporting the series. Let's take a look. Looks like drivers getting set for the grid. Let's go ahead and run through the starting order. It's Finley Fitzsimmons, the Brit, starting in the pole position. Micah Barnett starting second. Pete Dickett starting third. Michael Chow starting fourth. Nick Peterson starts fifth. Justin Sang starting sixth. Jake Duckwall starts seventh. We've got John Kasai, the Propane Man, starting eighth. Nick Beaver starting ninth. Jared Ziegler starting 10th. Jack Mundy starts 11th. Max Wobbles starting 12th. Cycling it on back to Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Australian. He's starting 13th. Felipe Ramos starting 14th. Xavier Zanave starting 15th. Antonio Bianchi starts 16th. Felipe Sarkis starting 17th. Alex Penn starts 18th. Peter Rettinger starts 19th. Michael Fairchild starting 20th. Norman King starting 21st. Ricardo Espino starting 22nd. Lane Sparling will start 23rd and round out the grid here. Let's get ready, ladies and gentlemen. The feature event here at Canadian Tire. Looks like the grid is set, except for Ricardo Espino. The number 90 machine has not made his way out onto the circuit yet. Oh, there he is, just barely making it as the lights get ready to come on here at Canadian Tire. And away they go, 30 laps or 45 minutes, whatever comes first. Fitzsimmons leads the field down into turn one. Micah Barnett, Pete Dickett in hot pursuit. We've already got some off-track excursion. It's Sangs, Wobbles, Bianchi. All off track through turn one, pushing just a little bit wide. Looks like Jared Ziegler, oh no, a hard hit. The outside wall lawn darts it in. He's gonna take a tow back to pit road. His feature event is done and over. Checking in on Pete Dickett, the number 84 machine, qualified third, holding on to that third place position. But he's got Michael Chow right there in tow. And also looks like Nick Peterson joining the hunt. Peterson trying to make a move on Chow and the 66 machine, not quite able to make it happen. Keep an eye out as here comes Jake Duckwall as well. As we've got a little bit of diciness going on at the front, Fitzsimmons and Barnett trading back and forth. Oh, Fitzsimmons right on the ragged edge there. You can see the dust getting kicked off the number 16 machine. Barnett does the identical move. Look at this wheel-to-wheel action. That's Nick Peterson, Jake Duckwall battling for fifth. But we've got problems out on track for Nick Beaver. Finds himself off in the grass and almost gets drilled by Norman King. King absolutely rocketing by, completely out of control. We were just going to say, that, oh my goodness, how far did he slide? We were going to say the new update in iRacing was supposed to make the grass a little bit easier for these drivers to dig in and slow down when you go off track. Obviously not the case here, because we're going to try and get a replay queued up of Norman King with arguably one of the longest slides I've ever seen. Look at King here. Going, crossing a hot track. Oh my, King almost colliding into the field here. Fitzsimmons holding on to the race lead. He's built up 3/4 of a second. Barnett has a second over Pete Thicket. And we've got more problems. That was Sang going off track. Duckwall, Kasai, and Mundy taking evasive maneuvers. Oh, but Mundy has problems of his own. He's off track. The exact same spot we saw King, but look at this replay. Everybody dipping it through the grass, and it looks like Mundy just went way too wide. Not able to get slowed down. Tags that outside wall. He's going to have a little bit of damage on the side of the number 2 machine, and actually takes a tow back to pit road, so he's done and out. Xavier Zanave having his fair share of problems in the number 12 machine. That's going to allow Alex Penn, Felipe Ramos, and possibly Felipe Sarkis. Yes, there's Sarkis, the number 4, moving up into 13th. He's up 4 spots. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the battle for the lead. Micah Barnett, Finley Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons second in points in this championship, behind Reed Gibson, who's unable to make it here today, I believe. Gibson may be hitting the slopes here today instead of making out to the race. So this has the potential for Fitzsimmons to gain a massive amount of points and maybe find himself back in title contention for this season. But has to drive smart as much as he wants another win to maximize those points. Cannot afford to get sent back to the virtual hauler early. Barnett squarely in the toe of the number 16 machine, Finley Fitzsimmons. Oh, and here we go, a big dive up the inside line for Micah Barnett to challenge Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons fires back immediately, showing his pace. My goodness, these guys are just going at it. Still have great racing all across the track as we check in on Xavier Zanabe. He's sitting 14th. And keep an eye out. Justin Sang just set the fastest lap of the race. Alex Penn, oh, this is going to be a big one. Peter Renger, oh, and Zanabe just punted Sarkis. They are dropping like flies here. Let's take a look, see where that happened. Started with Renger, I believe, in the 44. Yes, Renger loses it all of his own. The field takes evasive maneuver. Renger was in a very precarious spot. And then Zanabe had his own separate crash there as well. Now, what we were going to say before that massive incident was Justin Sang clicked off the fastest lap of the race on 111.29. As he works his way around Kasai. Just ahead of him, you can see on your screen, was Jake Duckwall, Nick Peterson. Looks like Sang has his head down, trying to track down Nick Peterson's 24 machine. Don Kasai, the number 3 machine, sitting 8th, right there behind, watching to see what's going to unfold. He knows his teammate, Peterson, the number 24. Identical liveries, got to get up there, see if he can lend some support, and he's going to do that. Showing a wheel to Sang, not quite able to stick it. As Kasai will get it lined up for another attempt, see what he can get going. As up front, Fitzsimmons holding on to the race lead. He's got a second built up. Duckwall, Peterson, Sang separated by less than 0.2 of a second. As Kasai and Wobbles right behind, we hint at 3 wide action. Sang nowhere to go in the 68. Peterson gets set up for the inside. No, tries the outside. A very busy racetrack. Fitzsimmons a 1:11.2 now holds the fastest lap of the race. And we've got a 5-car battle for 5th. Off track goes Wobbles. Sang hold on to the 6th place spot, trying to keep things going against Duckwall. He knows Peterson and Kasai, 2 teammates right behind him. Oh, and we've got a crash report. Alex Penn in the number 30 machine. Tries to get a fire back up. He's got a clean track. Let's see what happened. Oh, contact between himself and Norman King, I believe. Pushes his wide in the final turn, and around goes Penn. Back up towards the front, battle for the final podium spot. Michael Chow, the inside line against Pete Thickett's 84. Chow will take over 3rd. And the battle just inside the top 10 is just as frantic as where we left it. Max Wobbles now up 4 spots to the number 13 machine. Has worked his way up into 8th, just past John Kasai. Kasai flat tracking it around. McAllister narrowly avoids getting in, and I may have spoke too soon. No, that was Wobbles having the issue. There goes Antonio Bianchi as well as Blaine Sparling. Let's see what happened to Wobbles here in the 3rd. Oh no, there was contact between Wobbles and Kasai. Oh, a massive tank slapper before it unfortunately ends in the wall for Wobbles. But what a great race those guys were having. Back up front, Fitzsimmons has a rear view mirror full of Micah Barnett. Barnett briefly taking over the race lead. Fitzsimmons will be set up for the inside line. Fitzsimmons 0.8 off his fastest lap of the race that last time by. Showing just how much the pace is getting slowed down as they dice it out. Now Max Wobbles is going to come down pit road under his own power. Norman King, Felipe Ramos, Felipe Sarkis, Nick Beaver, Jack Mundy, Jared Ziegler all being forced into an early retirement. And try and get those cars patched up so they can get back out on track for the final sprint race of the evening. Oh, Justin Sang off track in a precarious position. Gonna drop back to 9th. Oh, even worse as he tries to get it pointing the right direction. Hopefully not too much damage in the front of that 68 machine. He was at one point one of the fastest drivers we had out on the circuit. Duckwall back in the 5th place spot around Peterson, the number 24 machine. Peterson having a great race. He's only lost 1 spot. The opening 3rd of this event. And staying right there with some massive titans here at the League Zero Formula 3 Series. Most of the field start spread apart slightly, except for McAllister, the world famous Australian. He's trying to track down John Kasai in the battle for 7th. Just see Nick Peterson, he's about 2 seconds ahead in this battle. On board with McAllister, working that draft against Kasai. Kasai's number 3 machine swaps to the left. It's going to be a drag race. Kasai right there with him, side by side. Kasai has the preferred inside position, but McAllister goes the long way around the number 25 machine. He's going to move up to 7th. That's his 6th position gain. Redinger crashes once more. He falls back to 15th. Is it another solo spin for the Austrian? Yes, he is, losing the back end. Crash just not doing anyone any favors here. Now it's going to be Kasai's turn to play second fiddle in the battle for 7th. Fiddle being one of the few instruments that Kasai cannot play. Multi-talented driver here at League Zero, the number 3, looking for any sort of mistake out of McAllister, but we got to pan the cameras. We've got a battle for 3rd. Michael Chow has Pete Thicket right behind in the 84. Separated by about 0.2 of a second here. Alex Ben with his own off-track excursion, the number 30, having issues. Quick update, Fitzsimmons holding on to the race lead. He's built up a 1-second advantage over Barnett. While most of the field has calmed down slightly, drivers that stay right there with each other, Kasai and McAllister. McAllister, his fastest lap of the race was about a 10th faster than Kasai. But Kasai has been very, very consistent. McAllister, not so much. And Kasai goes off track as well. What just happened there? Oh, synchronized crashing. Let's get that queued up once more. Oh, McAllister dips a wheel. Kasai locks up in the evasive maneuver. Both drivers keep it off the wall. And somehow not lose any positions in that. Gives you an idea of how spread out the field is. While that's happening, John Kasai and Antonio Bianchi are both going to come down pit road in tandem. As Barnett seems to be wicking up the pace once more, has closed the gap to 0.6 between himself and race leader Finley Fitzsimmons. Michael Fairchild also down pit road. His one and only pit stop of the evening. As it looks like Pete Thicket also getting on the gas as well. He wants to get around Michael Chow before the pit window is open for him and that number 84 machine, the lone Irishman, out on track here at League Zero. We've got drivers from England, Ireland, Australia, we've got France, Italy, Austria, Brazil, all out in tow. And what just happened to Michael Chow? You look away for one moment, and he obliterates that number 66 machine. It looks like Canada Tire is the place to be for solo car incidents. Oh, Chow just dipped the dirt just enough. Tries to hold on to it. Pickett able to get through unscathed, but Chow absolutely drills the hard concrete wall here. Before having to put it back on pit road. He is done and out again. If you take a tow here at League Zero, you are done and out for the event. Now Barnett has been getting ever so slightly. He'll get a little bit closer to race leader Fitzsimmons, fall back, and then repeat the process. Last time by, Barnett was a little bit over a tenth of a lap faster than Fitzsimmons. And I'm very interested to see what the fuel and strategy call is going to be for these top two drivers. They've built up about a 4.5 second gap over Pete Nickett. Rounds out the podium as it stands. You can see the track map on the bottom right. Fitzsimmons and Barnett, the red dots basically on top of each other. Nickett, the white number 3 label on that mini map. Fitzsimmons holding the race lead. Now to give you a bit of an update as well, 13 drivers remaining out on track at this point. 9 drivers down pit road have been forced to retire here. Well, we might be making it another one as Antonio Bianchi going involved in a crash and then an off track. He's going to fall back to 12th as there goes Redger. Let's see what happened to Bianchi, the Italian stallion, the number 17 machine. Oh, just pushes wide, tags the grass, and that's enough to send him around. Now everybody out on track at this point, still in a points fade position. And Bianchi not necessarily having the worst night. If he finishes 12th, that'll put him in the number 1 spot for the inverted grid for our sprint race. Since we're past the halfway mark, it looks like Fitzsimmons and Barnett, now separated by 1.3 seconds, may have a little bit of lap traffic coming up on them. That is going to be, it looks like Ranger, Bianchi, Penn, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Not too terribly far ahead of your race leader. I wonder if Fitzsimmons will take this opportunity to come down pit road and maybe get some more clean track. And it looks like Max Wobbles returning back to the circuit. Number 13, hitting 17. 7 laps down. I don't know how many. He might be able to gain 1 more position. Possibly 2. As Chow and Fairchild. Oh, and now Ranger taking a toe to pit road. They are dropping like absolute flies here. Oh, and we get a crash report. Max Wobbles did not make it far out of pit road before misfortune striking again. Can't quite tell if that maybe that car's out of alignment. Something must be wrong because that was a very slow and odd crash for Wobbles at 13, but he's going to try and stay out on track. See if he can maybe miraculously work his way into some points. Can't help but look away. It looks like, I think that's going to be Jake Duckwall about to make his way around Wobbles. Look at this, the battle's still going on for 12th and, 11th. Alex Penn trying to make a move on Bianchi. I think Bianchi may be driving a little bit winded here in the 17. He does not be up to his normal pace. We're going to wait for the lap time delta to update here. Yeah, Bianchi's got problems. A 1:14.13 his last time by. A full 2 seconds off his fastest lap of the race. As we are 19 laps into this main event. Nobody inside the top 9 has come down pit road. John Kasai in 10th. He came down on lap 12 for a quick splash up of fuel. We've got a few different strategies in play here. I say a few. It's just Kasai and Bianchi on that lap 12 pit strategy. Everyone else going to stretch these fuel tanks out to the limit. Or are we going to see Fitzsimmons come down pit road as he is gaining more time on Barnett? Oh, we've got more drivers off track. That was Bianchi in the 17, right in front of race leader Fitzsimmons. Now Barnett seems to be very slowly closing the gap. He's got down to about 1.9 seconds, gained about 3 or 4 tenths. I wonder if that was from Fitzsimmons having to check up. Michael Fairchild rolls back out of pit road. He's sitting 15th. I believe that is a points paid position. Now we got Jake Duckwall in the 99. He's coming down pit road. He will drop to 5th as Peterson moves up to 4th. And already, I believe Fairchild. No, that was Max Wobbles edging Fairchild out of the points. Still waiting for our top 6 drivers to come down pit road. There we go, Fitzsimmons, Barnett, both down pit road, starting lap 22. Gareth McAllister opted to stay out, the number 25 machine. Oh, almost going off track there. But McAllister and Sang running 3rd and 4th. The 2 drivers inside the top 5 who have yet to come down pit road. Trying to put some pressure on the race leaders. As lap down drivers quickly hopping out of the way. Oh, and we've got problems for Sang. Number 68 machine, he's got the speed here at Canada Tire, but he has not had the consistency. I think drivers tonight really fighting the car setup, and everybody's saying it's loose, and yeah, look at Sang just drifting it around in that 68. Thankfully, no damage, no other drivers collected. Max Wobbles, as well as Fairchild, moving up a spot, 13th and 14th. That's going to put Redinger on the bubble for points. Sangs comes down pit road for his scheduled pit stop very, very late. And poor Antonio Bianchi having more issues here in the 17. Again, we think he's driving wounded, making an already ill-handling car just that much worse. As now it's Sangs, Zanave, and Sparling all down pit road. Yeah, you can tell Bianchi really fighting that machine here. Fitzsimmons, your race leader, 3 seconds up over Micah Barnett. McAllister sits in third, but as we know, McAllister yet to come down pit road, so that should, I believe, put Pete Dickett back into into third in the 84 machine. Yes, McAllister, the world-famous Australian, he's going to go down pit road. Putting in just enough fuel to make it 6 more laps here at Canada Tire. As Fitzsimmons will have to cut through traffic. Top 5 changing as McAllister rolls out of pit road. Now he's still going to be up 8 spots. But our hard charger of the evening, Lane Sparling, the number 9 machine, he is up 15 positions. Qualified way at the back, but has kept his nose clean, his wing clean, I should more aptly say, and just clicking off smooth and consistent laps. Now he's fresh out of pit road. Let's see what the times will update to when he gets the opportunity to come around once more. But the bright pink number 9, a fantastic job here. Other notable mentions, Gareth McAllister, he's up 8 spots as he runs 5th. Alex Penn in 10th, also up 8 positions. Check back in on your race leader, Fitzsimmons. Of the 14 drivers out on track, he has been able to leave just 9 on the lead lap with 5 laps left to go. And he's got a little bit of clean track ahead of him. You can see Micah Barnett just getting through. Looks like that was Alex Penn just behind him in the all-yellow number 30 machine. Back to Penn. Looks like there's a lot going on there as he's behind Wobbles. Looks like it's kind of an intermingling of lap traffic. Looks like everybody out on track will be able to lock up some points if they can keep that forward momentum. Antonio Bianchi's got a little bit of lap traffic as well. I think that's third place Pete Thicket. No, it's a little bit further back as here comes Thicket. We go on board the number 84 machine. Relatively clean track for the young Irishman. And you can see the battle that Bianchi is having just ahead of this third place driver. Now I think Thicket, pretty wise, he's not going to push too aggressively here. Trying to figure out who that is right behind Bianchi. That's going to be Max Wobbles, number 13 machine. He's several laps down from the number 17, so just out there clicking off laps, getting some time in. And we may have a possible battle developing. Looks like Blaine Sparling is losing ground to Xavier Zanave, who runs 9th. Bianchi takes a tow to pit road, the number 17, after another off track. He is done and out of this feature event. And Zanave keeping his head down, starting to reel in Sparling. Sparling a little bit of a bobble and even more problems up front. Gareth McAllister is off track, loses the top 5 spot to John Kasai. What happened to the young Aussie? Just loses the back end, grabs a little bit of dirt, and that is all it takes. But look at this battle still going on. Xavier Zanave head down and focused, trying to get another spot from our hard charger, Blaine Sparling, the number 9 machine. This will be the battle for 8th, with just 2 short laps left to go at this feature event. And then we will, oh, let's interrupt there. There goes Zanave working the draft. Does so very, very clean. That's going to be his 7th position gain, getting around Sparling. Now, after this feature event, we'll have a very brief intermission before we get ready for the final sprint race of the night. Half the laps and generally twice the action. That's going to be tough to follow up on. That's correct. I believe we only have 9 drivers on the lead lap here. Max wobbles Michael Fairchild after their very lengthy, almost 9-minute pit stop, trying to get those machines hammered back into shape. At this place, Jake Duckwall, he's going to fall back to 14th. As it looks like it's suddenly getting darker here. Wouldn't that be something if iRacing finally threw in the rain, and the league admins did as a bit of a surprise here. Fitzsimmons makes his way around into the final corner, getting ready to take the white flag here at Canada Tire. White flag is out. And Fitzsimmons out in no man's land, a 5.5 second advantage over Micah Barnett in second. An 11-second gap over Pete Thicket in third. And no lap traffic ahead of the young British driver. His fastest lap of the race on 111.2. Last time by a 112.55, so it looks like Fitzsimmons has slightly backed off the pace. And look at the front end. It looked like the front end was just absolutely plowing through the corner there. I'm excited to see Max Wobbles, currently running 12th. He'll be in the pole position for the sprint race. Could lead to some excitement as the checkered flag is out for Fitzsimmons. And he will pick up the win at a night where he needed all of the points. Micah Barnett will finish second. And Pete Thicket with a little bit of a wobble there himself, the 84, he will lock up third. Starting to get drivers up here in the waiting room. We've got Barnett joining us, waiting on Thicket and Fitzsimmons. That will do it for the opening event, the feature event. Looks like the gang's all here. We're going to start off with the Irishman, Pete Thicket, the number 84 machine. Welcome back to the top three, and looks like that momentum's starting to get built up here for you.
Well, maybe that's the case. Kind of got lucky, I think, with a qualifying position, but yeah, that was a tough one.
Now, what makes this track so tough? We saw an abnormal amount of self-spins. Is it the car not hooking up? Is it the track? What is going on out there, Pete?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't tried it with the F3 that much, so I don't know if it's just the conditions or what, but there's not a lot of grip out there. It's really inconsistent. So like sometimes you'll get loose in the fast corners, you'll get understeer in the slow corners, but it's like different stages in the corner you'll get incidents happening and having to correct them. So you just have to kind of drive around it. And luckily, for me at least, I had enough space where I could just kind of chill for a bit and try not to take too many risks.
Now, Pete, speaking of risk, you're going to be right back there in the meat grinder for the start of this sprint race. What's the plan? What's the strategy to try and survive the opening laps here at Canada Tire?
Well, luckily, my lackluster pace through the rest of the season means that I have a lot of experience being right in the middle of the pack. So, unfortunately, I haven't learned anything from that experience. So, I don't know. Just try and find a gap and not get caught up in anything. I think, and try not to lose it. I mean, it's such a tricky track at the moment. I don't know. It's just about staying on the right coloured bit of road, and hopefully you'd end up with a decent result. But yeah, there's a lot of good cars in front of me too. So yeah, I have to hope for some luck out there. So.
Awesome. We're wishing you the best of luck. Pete, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make it happen for you before I let you get ready for this sprint race?
I mean, all the Scuderia Chicken House guys, of course. You guys for doing the broadcast and the host and everything. The league's a lot of fun. The guys out there, good time, and just more of the same. Yeah, good times.
Awesome. Always a pleasure, Pete. Glad to see that momentum working out, and hope to have you back up here and surviving the sprint race.
Thanks, mate. Good one. Bye.
Thank you, sir. That was Pete Thicket bringing it home. And third, up next, we got Micah Barnett, the number 59 machine. A lot of great racing out there, but man, what an empty racetrack by the time it was all said and done.
Yeah, that was a pretty sweaty one for me. Really, really good fun with Finley at the start. Just hard racing, very fair. He avoided catastrophe for both of us on one of my pass attempts, and but yeah, good fun. And then I drove the rear tires off and just had to back off at the end just to try to not put myself in the wall.
Now, Micah, with it being very late in the season, second to last round, we've only got technically 3 races left. You're still fighting hard and holding on to third. Are you expecting these points championships to kind of tighten up a little bit with Gibson being out this week?
I think, yeah, Finley and Reed, I think, are going to be neck and neck for first. I don't think I have any real shot at getting out of third. But I think in the team championship, Pete and I having a strong night tonight helps us out a bunch. We had another team, I think, sort of creeping up on us there, and this should put some nice space for us there. So.
Now, Micah, last week, Pete said he's been racing with you for donkey years. Would you mind translating that to our American viewers at home?
Yeah, we've been racing together for a long time. That's Pete's British, so he can't speak that well. He doesn't know English like us Americans do. But I'll get him straightened out. But yeah, that was the first time I'd heard that either. So we all learned something that night.
It's always a lot of fun on and off the track, especially with you hooligans. Micah, always a pleasure. It's been a very consistent season for you. It's more often than not, we have you up here in the top 3, if not the top 5. And as we get ready for the sprint race here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to that helps make this result possible for you?
Yep, appreciate it. As always, Team Goon Squad. I got the opportunity to show some broadcasts to some work colleagues the last few days. We were at a retreat. They really enjoyed it. So thanks, Team Goon Squad. Thanks to my work buddies, Adam, Kevin, and Andrew. and always Scuderia Chicken House.
Awesome. Micah, always a pleasure, and hope to have you back up here later on the night, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Micah Barnett locking up the second place spot. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Finley Fitzsimmons, back on top in what was a spicy night for everybody involved.
Yeah, it was another one of those races. I saw Reed wasn't coming and I knew exactly what I had to do. It was about not taking any risks and just trying to get as many points as possible. And yeah, with a 1x race as well, you could tell I was being really careful on the track limits because, especially with the new update, I'm not sure, but the grass is so deadly at this track. As I don't know what corner number it is, but there's one before you go down the hill for the second time on the outside. If you catch the grass there, you're straight into the tyre barrier. I nearly crashed there twice, which was interesting. But yeah, the whole race was trying to manage those rear tyres because my laps in practice, the tyres, the rears were the limitation. And they just started sliding around after about lap 17. So my whole race was just trying to make sure I didn't overheat those rears, which I was able to do. And yeah, I made them last the whole race.
Now, Finley, coming into tonight, you were 35 points down from Gibson. After this feature win, it should only be a 10-point difference. How is that going to play into your strategy? If you can get a third or better in the sprint, you guys will be tied for the championship going into the final round next week.
Yeah, that's scary to think. But no, I remember a couple of races back. I think it was only about 4 races ago. I was in the broadcast booth saying I was aiming for second in the championship. I thought it was completely out of the window, but it looks like luck has switched my side for the last part of the season. And yeah, we're on the chase. 10 points it is, and of course he isn't here for the sprint race either. So it's just about bringing home points. I don't really mind if I'm still a couple points behind, because going into the final race, it's still whoever finishes in front of the other. As long as I can get within a couple points of him and maybe score a 5th or a 6th, I'll be happy.
Awesome. I know I'm looking forward to it. The fans are at home as well. And Finley, before I let you get ready for the final sprint race of the night, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make this win possible for you?
Team Goon Squad, you in the broadcast booth, Team Goon Squad, the team as well. We brought him some really good points because with Reed gone and Gareth coming home in 6th as well. Brilliant finish for him. Backing up with a really good result for the team. Thank you for the league owners for putting on such a brilliant show tonight. And Suey.
I don't know what that means, but it's provocative. So, Finley, thank you as always, my friend. Another great win, and we'll be rooting for you in the sprint race here to come.
Thank you, James.
Thank
Fingers
you,
crossed. I'll speak to you later.
That was Finley Fitzsimmons wrapping up with a win of the feature event. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the final sprint race of the evening. Half the laps, twice the action, here at the League Zero Racing Series. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The final sprint race of the evening. Don't forget the top 12 of the feature event, an inverted grid here for the sprint. That's going to put Max Wobbles in the #1 spot. Bianchi starting second. Alex Penn starting third. Blaine Sparling starts fourth. Xavier Zanave will be starting fifth. Justin Stang starts sixth. Gareth McAllister starting seventh. John Kasai eighth. Nick Peterson starting ninth. Pete Nickett starting 10th. Micah Barnett starting 11th. And your feature winner, Finley Fitzsimmons, squarely in the meat grinder. He'll be starting 12th. Keep an eye on that number 16 machine. If he finishes third place, he will tie for the championship points with Gibson. Any higher than that will give him a very slight advantage into the season finale next week. Looks like Jake Duckwall, Nick Bieber unable to make it out onto the grid as we get ready for the lights to come on for the final time here at Canada Tire, and away we go. Wobbles, look at Penn, a big move at the inside line of Bianchi. There goes Blaine Sparling off track in the number 9 machine. Waiting for a safe place to rejoin. Alex Penn also off track. Careening around, and whoa, what a crash. Thanks iRacing for the update. You guys absolutely nailed it. As we go back up front, Max Wobbles, Antonio Bianchi having their own battle just behind them. That's Gareth McAllister, Justin Stang battling for fourth. Here comes John Kasai putting his nose in. He's chased by teammate Nick Peterson. Max Wobbles has a huge 1.3 second lead. Bianchi and Zanave side by side for second. You can see McAllister and Sang working the draft right behind them, trying to close up just a little bit. John Kasai is going to fall back to 8th. Making way for Peterson, Barnett, and Ziegler. And speaking of, we've got problems towards the back. Michael Chow, Mundy, Jared Ziegler, all involved in that one. Let's get a replay queued up. A little bit faster than that. And just absolute carnage. And while that's going on, another incident featuring Antonio Bianchi. Oh, everybody catching the grass and going for a wild ride here. We've seen so many identical incidents here tonight at Canada Tire. And look at Dustin Stang, has worked his way up 3 spots into third, chased by McAllister, Peterson, Barnett, Kasai, Fairchild, Thicket, all here. One has to ask, what happened to Fitzsimmons? Fitzsimmons is in pit road. Fitzsimmons will not get any points here. The second place championship driver absolutely smashes into the tire barrier. Bang holding on to third, being chased ever so closely by the Aussie McAllister. We've seen a bit of aggressiveness, more aggressiveness out of him this season as we're on board with the number 25 machine. But Sang putting the hammer down, stretching the cap, and look how much wheel input these guys are having to give it to try and get that car to act like they want. Pete Nickett in his podium interview described it very well, saying the car doing several different things across the track. Sometimes you're extremely loose, sometimes you're fighting with tightness. As it looks like Micah Barnett's gonna try and work his way up into fourth against the Aussie. Yes, he will get clear of the number 25 machine, but he's now up 7 spots up into fourth. Dustin Sang sitting in third. No, it's going to be Micah Barnett gets the fastest lap on 111.54. almost a full half second than most of the drivers here. Able to work and time that draft masterfully. And we've already whittled it down to 15 drivers still left out on track. Fitzsimmons, Espino, Mundy, Farling, Penn, and King retiring early. Beaver and Duckwall with a did not start. Pickett, a gutsy move on Fairchild's number 88 machine. He moved up an A. Let's go a little bit further back. We have a 3-car battle going for 12th. That's Ziegler, Rettinger, and Bianchi. Got to move the camera back up towards McAllister and Barnett, who are side by side. McAllister trying to hold on to fourth. McAllister sets his fastest lap of the race that time by a 111.59, so finding a little bit more pace as the run progresses. Now it's going to be Peterson and Kasai working together, but they've got to be careful. Here comes Pete Thicket. Oh no, around goes Kasai. Was there contact? There's definitely some there with Kasai and Fairchild getting absolutely obliterated. Get another angle at that. Oh, Kasai just loops around on his own. I thought there may have been contact. And poor Fairchild, nowhere to go. Fairchild into pit road. Kasai does this thing. McAllister and Barnett still fighting for fifth. McAllister fighting very, very hard here. He'll hold on to fourth, doing whatever he can to fend off Barnett. That's slowing the pace down, allowing Peterson to catch up. And you got to be mindful as here comes Pete Pickett. And look at this as well, a good talking point. Two Brazilians, Felipe Ramos and Felipe Sarkis, both up 11 positions, running 8th and 9th here. Barnett able to work his way up into fourth, edging out McAllister. McAllister working the draft. He's going to try and fire back. In the outside line, work well here. Getting the draft and contact between the two. Off track goes McAllister, able to hold on to it. And Thicket just charging through the field here. Worked his way up into sixth, being very consistent, very careful when he makes those passes. And let's see, still a 3-car battle for fifth. Now it's McAllister, Thicket, Peterson. Thicket up 4 positions so far. McAllister's up 2, Peterson also up 2 spots. Thicket squarely in the draft of the Aussie. Here comes the outside slingshot, out goes Thicket. Peterson tries to follow suit, but not close enough in the draft. Can McAllister defend? Oh no, Thickett's gonna muscle his way up in there. No, McAllister closes the door. Now Peterson tries a move on Thicket. Doesn't quite get the drive he was looking for. Can he make it stick up the inside line? Yes, Peterson up into 6th. Micah Barnett 4th, clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 111.39. Peterson and Thicket still side by side. Peterson on a very good defensive run here. This is going to give Peterson a little bit of chance to breathe as we go back up front. Second place, Xavier Zanave has Justin Sang right toe, and keep an eye out, that's Micah Barnett just about 3/4 of a second behind him. Sang makes a move up into second. Zanave gets shuffled back to third. Zanave looking for his first podium of the season, and it's going to be tough work. Sang, who's just in front of him, very, very quick. Barnett, who's right behind the 59, also extremely fast and consistent. But we've seen plenty of solo car incidents so far tonight, especially in that feature event, where drivers had big problems as the tires started to fall off, completely changing the characteristics of the car. And oh no, there's Bianchi. Another big crash. Still out on track, still trying to maximize his points. Micah Barnett slots up into third, getting around Zanave. And Thicket and Peterson still battling for sixth. Gotta give Peterson his credit where credit is due. He's done a great job fending off the 84 machine. Let's see what Thicket can do here with a little bit of clean air, but that draft keeping Peterson right there with the 84. Well, drivers remaining out on track at this point of the race. 5 laps left to go. As Thicket, a massive moment there in the 84. Peterson not quite able to capitalize. And what's going on up in second? It's a battle between Sang and Barnett. Barnett working that patented draft. No, that's going to be Sang in the 68, but Barnett, one of the first drivers we've seen an inside draft move here tonight. Now, while this is happening, they've been very slowly reeling in Max Wobbles. Barnett, 8/10 off the back of the number 13 machine. A full 7/10 faster than the leading number 13 that last time by. Oh, another bobble from Wobbles. That's going to allow Barnett to close up even more, especially on such an important drive down the back stretch here at Canada Tire. Sang, Zanave, McAllister rounding out the top 5. And still plenty of time for solo car incidents and big moves from some of the other drivers. And everybody getting dangerously close to tipping those wheels off. Have to be careful. As we've seen the grass violently ruin dreams for many drivers out here today. And Barnett still has his head down. He's whittled it down to 6/10 of a second behind the race leader, Wobbles. Barnett has had 1 win so far this season back at Sonoma on November 17th. would like nothing more than to be able to add maybe one more to the stat sheet, maybe even two by the time the season's all said and done. Right now, we think Wobbles is in a good spot to lock up the third place, but anything can happen. As Gibson not here tonight, your points leader. Back in pit road early on in the race, done and out, not able to maximize points. So Fitzsimmons will start the final round of the season 10 points behind Gibson. .3 separating Wobbles and Barnett. Will we see a battle for the lead with just a couple of short laps left to go? Barnett closes the distance even more. Will he wait for the drafting opportunity? No, Wobbles is going to hand it to him as he goes off track. Looks like Zanave also off track. This may allow McAllister to fight back for a podium position. McAllister still looking for his first podium of the season, and now he's in a good spot to work the draft against Wobbles number 13 machine. But keep an eye out. Pete Thicket still lurks in the background. McAllister hops out of the draft at the last possible second. He's been working this outside move all night long. McAllister back up into third. Oh, and who was that? I think that was Thicket, almost off track there. Narrowly avoid holding on to it. McAllister about to fight tooth and nail to try and pick up his only podium of the season. And it looks like he's got a bit of a breakaway as Wobbles spend times battling with Thicket. Oh, what a birthday gift this would be for McAllister. As we watch Thicket and Wobbles still side by side for fourth, it looks like Wobbles may be off track there. Able to keep it planted somehow. And still, Wobbles and Thicket continue to run side by side. This is allowing Zanave and Peterson 6th and 7th. Closing the gap ever so slightly. Wobbles holds on to the fourth place spot. Thicket with no draft support there. Losing a little bit of time. Thickett's going to try the high-low. Wobbles shuts the door. And look at that. Here comes Zanave and Peterson squarely join the party. Zanave almost off track in the all green and yellow number 12. White flag is out here at Canada Tire. It's Barnett, Sang, McAllister, your current top three, as we watch the ever-growing battle for fourth between Wobbles, Thicket, Zanave, and Peterson. Barnett looking good to get his second win of the season. He's got a less than half track left to go as they reach the end of the back stretch for Barnett. Barnett 2 seconds ahead of Sang. Sang 2.2 ahead of McAllister. Checkered flag is out. Micah Barnett gets his second win of this season. Justin Sang will lock up second, and Gareth McAllister will get his first podium of the season in the number 25 machine. We're going to try and get our drivers up here into the waiting room. As we wait for the drivers to make their way up. Got McAllister waiting for Stang and Barnett. Looks like the gang is all here, so let's get things started off with the world-famous Australian Gareth McAllister. Welcome to the top three, the first time of this season, and able to fend off every other driver viciously those last few laps.
G'day, James. How's it going?
I'm well, sir. How are you? How are the nerves after that wild sprint race?
I'm still shaking for sure, but nah, it was absolutely fantastic. I don't particularly like this track. I got to be honest, and a lot of the boys in the paddock know that I've voiced my opinions on that. But you know, my sponsored race because well, not really because of anything, but my sponsored race, and yeah, it's fantastic result. Can't ask for better. Saying I was really trying to uh, stay point for point with him. I finished just ahead of him in the feature and finished just behind him in the sprint. So we've gone point for point today, and it's always fantastic racing against him. He's really sets the benchmark for me to try and push myself. So yeah, it was just great racing from everyone, not just him as well.
Now, besides the solo car incident, that sprint race went a little bit cleaner than we were expecting.
From my perspective, yes. I was a little bit further up the field than I was in the feature, so it was definitely more prominent. This track is so crazy. Like there are bumps and just little bits of pavement. I swear worn out almost to like small holes all over the track. It's a bit crazy to drive, but you get used to it, and I think my performance in the sprint proved that.
Awesome. A great performance all the way around. Well done finishing that first podium spot up to 4 spots, the number 5 machine. And Gareth, before I let you sign off and celebrate with a birthday shenanigans, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen for you?
Well, I have to shout out my girlfriend. Caitlin, I believe, is watching, so it's fantastic to get a podium position for her, so I can shout her out. Also, shout out to my grandparents, who I believe are going to be watching as well. My family, like mum, dad, my brother, uh, basically everyone, all my friends. Basically, this whole league is just full of people I consider my friend. Pretty much everyone in here, so it's great to race against every one of them, and you as well, James. Thank you for broadcasting, and yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. Always my pleasure, Gareth. Congratulations, my man, and hope to have you back up here next week.
Sounds good, James. Thank you very much.
That was Gareth McAllister finishing in third. Up next, Justin Sang and the number 68 machine. Justin, great clean racing all the way up towards the front. Just the right amount of aggressiveness, guys, but seemed like it was fairly clean, well respected within the top three.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good battle with Gareth on lap one. I thought for sure we're gonna touch, but we gave enough space to each other. But yeah, it was fun. Michael was just too quick. I didn't want to fight him too hard.
Now, Justin, as the season progresses, it's like you're getting faster and faster, and maybe more importantly, more consistent every week. What has been the trick to make sure you're here at the end of each of the races?
I mean, I never drive these cars, so like, I it's the first time I actually drive these on iRacing, so it's just more practice in these cars that helped.
Awesome. Justin, it's been a lot of fun watching you get faster and more consistent. I think you're definitely going to be a contender next season if we're lucky enough to have you back. What are the plans for you in the 68 machine?
Yeah, I plan to be back. Let's see if my teammate who's not here today plans to be back. Reed. Yeah, usually I do whatever the group wants to do, and if they all wants to come back, I come back.
Awesome. I know I'm hoping to have you and the rest of the hooligans back. Justin, before I let you sign off and celebrate, who would you like to give a shout out to that helps make this second place possible for you?
Thanks to the Chicken House guys. They push us. I mean, we push each other a lot. Yeah, push them. That's it.
Awesome. Justin, congratulations, bud. Hope to have you back up here. And as always, thank you for joining me up here in the booth.
All right, thank you.
That was Justin Stang in the number 68 machine, bringing home second. But up next, the man of the hour, Micah Barnett. Welcome to the top spot. Yet another win to the old resume and locking up that third place like we were talking about just a few moments ago.
Yeah, that was fun. That's an unusually damage-free result for me in the sprint. So yeah, good fun.
Yeah, now starting back 10 spots from where you were, how tough was it to work the way through the old meat grinder, or was the solo car incidents kind of your benefit there as they kind of careened out of the way?
Yeah, every one of those helps. I always like to yell "move up" every time I see somebody in the wall or in the dirt. But I gotta say, really good fun racing with Gareth on that one. He was really throwing it in hard, and somehow he went around the outside of me there at the couple turns from the end and made the pass stick. It was really just good stuff. So yeah, good fun racing, and fortunately was didn't get collected in anybody else's incident. And once I got in some free air, I knew it was just time to try and put some laps down and not overheat the tires.
Now, speaking of that, Micah, but after the feature event, we were talking about how the car was just kind of vastly different over the run. Was it a little bit more consistent in the shorter sprint race?
Yeah, for sure. I was just starting to feel just hints at the end of abusing the rear tires, but I was able to dial the brake bias back a little bit, get a little better turn in, which is something I like to do. So yeah, the tires are much happier for this shorter race versus the sloppy mess I was trying to drive at the end of the feature.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well, getting faster and faster as that run went on, and again, picking up that big second win of the season. I know you and the team are pumped, and Micah, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this win possible for you?
Yeah, Scuderia Chicken House as always. My teammate Pete in particular. We did have a good discussion offline about donkey years. I still don't think he quite gets it, but I'll keep working on him. Shout out to Reed Gibson, who couldn't be here tonight because he's out entertaining himself and hanging out with friends in the non-virtual world. And yeah, one more shout out to Team Goon Squad. Great broadcasts.
Awesome. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you guys out on track. So, Micah, again, congratulations, man. Good having you back. Second time tonight. Second win of the season. Hope to see you carry that continued success into future seasons, my friend.
I appreciate it, James.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
That was Micah Barnett finishing in the top spot, the number 59. He is accompanied by Justin Sang and Gareth McAllister on the podium. On behalf of LeagueZero.net, my name has been James Eastwood, Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for spending your Thursday night with us, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.